Oh shit, we're live. Shaking the Instagram. Had to bear with me. So, hello everybody. Tonight's live stream brought to you by the fine folks at Rock God Brewing Company. I was just there over the weekend, and I hear that the Imperium is now just waiting on labels. So that's how close we are. All right, let's pop the chat out. I know you're like, what the hell does that mean? But if you look, you can do it on yours too, I think. All right, let's see. Mike, Britt, Scott, Dana, hello, Javier, Adam, Colt, hello, everybody. Yes, tonight's show brought to you by the Sling Duber. For those of you who are unaware, this little fella dropped today and worked charm. Took a while to come up with the idea, get it right, and it works. Peachy Keen, hello, Gabe. Now, you patrons will be glad to know that you got all of them in 9 minutes. So, it's okay. Jason, hello, sir. I was just talking about you with my son. We were watching a TV show, not a good TV show. Actually, my wife was watching it, and some dude on it looked like you. So there's that. Anyway, Sling Duber are here. That is the big news of the day. And I put them up last night for a private link for patrons. They bought every single one. In fact, the one in my hand is not mine. It is purchased. And there's that. So I just put the video up on the YouTubes and posted about it over on the Instagrams, and put the other up here shortly. Oh, he was definitely, Jason, the prettiest fella in the show. But anyhow, that is the big deal. They actually are at a introductory price as well. I talked to my part suppliers. I have already purchased more hooks. The tabs are getting fabricated as we speak, as are hangers. So we will have round 2 coming shortly. Yay. So actually, where's my pen? There it is. On the list, things to check off, Sling Dubers. They're coming along pretty all right. I've been running one for a little while. Some of you may have seen it. They're pretty big. And we'll have to thank Tim Morris for the inspiration for the name. All right. So now we got that out of the way. What else is going on tonight? Gabe, I did see that. I saw the post on the socials, and that is pretty awesome. I'm impressed. But no, Scott, I have not filed a patent. I'm sure the idea will be stolen shortly. They just have to call it something else. Oh, tonight, live product review. This is the Defiant Munitions TCX coffee, the blackout, the dark roast. I've not tried it yet. It smells good. I have foo-fooed it up with the proper amount of creamer and Splenda. So we will get to the live taste test of Pete's dark roast coffee. I heard, I didn't really look, but I heard that there is some Defiant 30-06 ammo. That's pretty cool. Hello, Steve. So, shall we get to the part where we test it? Smells like coffee. Oh, that's really good. The dark roast is really good. I think I like it better than the medium roast. But I didn't have medium roast this morning, so I haven't had them in the same day. I need to have them side by side to pick a favorite. But I do like the dark roast. Oh yeah, dark roast is good. It's a little late at night for coffee. However, I was taught a little secret about coffee. The darker it's roasted, the less caffeine they have in it. So the dark roast is better to have at night than the medium roast. So there's that. All right. Let's see. I got all these Sling Duber parts here. Sorry if they're making noise, moving them out of my way for my mouse. Over the weekend, we had the second running of the Radio Ops Primer. I do believe that it ran a little smoother than the first one. Like we trimmed it where it needed to be trimmed and polished it where it needed to be polished, and it ran pretty well. Got good feedback from the people who took it the second time and for the new folks. So, Daisy Scott, I'm glad you stopped in. Your Duber is yet to be produced, but when I have the batch, I'll make sure you know that they're out there to purchase. So we did the Radio Ops Primer, had a good time, and I think some folks understand the radios a little bit better. Folks, if they want to come to this weekend's study group, are more welcome to bring their radios with them and get some more practice time in getting the radio running. Thank you, Dana. Dana loved the class. Of course, I say thank you. Really, my FERPA instructor is the one who took care of it. I'm not going to tell you all what FERPA means, but he knows. But yeah, we're doing a study group, 2-day study group. It's like 2 days of study group, or you can do it continuously. So this one is on patrolling. So we're going to spend all day walking around places, and then we're going to set up an observation post overnight where we will be observing some things, and then we're going to do some more patrolling the next day. However, because people are welcome to come for 1 day or 2 days, the intent is that we will stop Sunday morning for a little while. People get up and leave. We can get the people that are coming in, and then get back to repeating on day 2, similar to what we did on day 1. So if anybody wants to do that, that is an alumni or it has been invited by someone in the study group, more than welcome. Bring your radio, especially if you just took a radio class and you want to get some more reps on it. That's happening this weekend. Actually, I have study group 33 and 34 on my list of things to talk about. So there's that. Check the comments, make sure there's anything. I think I said hello, Crystal, but hello, Crystal. My moderator, is that what it is? Administrator, moderator? I don't remember what the title is. Can I find out? Oh, I put the user timeout moderator because I can remove moderator. I don't want to do that. I just wanted to see what the title was. Oh, that's good. Well, something else I wanted to talk about. So, put a picture up of on Instagram 2 days ago, something like that. A couple ago, Saturday, I don't know. A pair of SIG 365s, and got into some discussion about it. I think the picture was on Facebook too, and a couple places talked a little bit about the SIG 365. And I wanted to point out that it has a strangely unique position on the list of approved and recommended handguns. And it has the lowest number of failures of all the brands and models on the approved list. It has, of course, the lowest. No, I think it has the second lowest number of units tested. So it's easy to, if you've, I think it's 17 or 19 365s that have come, individual samples that have come through 2-day 1,000-round classes. And so, while there are thousands of Glocks, there's like about 24 of 365s. So of course, the 365 will have fewer numbers of failures because it's currently at 0. But interestingly enough, they have the highest percentage of success, and they're currently at 100%. So there's that. Like, it got on the list 9 guns ago, and it still hasn't had a gun shit to bed through a dude class. So it's performing remarkably well. Like, at this point, it is picture perfect. Obviously, it's on the list, so it didn't have a failure in the first 10 units, but it hasn't had a failure in the next 9 either. And then this guy, who is my second 365, he will get put through something here at some point, so we can get a 20th sample. But yeah, that is another 365. I guess some dudes in the 365 forums are calling it the 365X, like half of the XL, because it's got the XL frame and the not XL top, which is the way I prefer it. I think it's the perfect combo. But it's doing pretty well. And the talking about it after I posted those pictures kind of led me to, want to keep some people in the loop, update everybody on how those are doing. I do have it. It came in this 365 in it currently, but it came in a NSR. I think it's a C1. But I just talked to Brian over at Stevens Concealment about picking up a left-handed 4th generation Tremis signature holster, so that I can run one right hip, one left hip. So this holster will become superfluous shortly. Crystal, yes. 365s in 2-day pistol classes, 19 or 17 or 19. I'd have to go look. And no issues. But if anyone's looking for an NSR C1 holster, I will sell this one because I don't need it. NSR makes a fine holster. I think the C1 is their just stock appendix-ish holster. It's got the strut. I think the strut's pretty ingenious, soft loop. So it is available. If anybody here on this live stream wants to buy it, shoot me a message. Pocket 380. I'll tell you exactly what I would. Lead Defense Extreme Penetrator is exactly the ammo that I run in my 380 pocket pistol. It doesn't do the same amount of tissue damage that a hollow point does, but it gets the same penetration as Full Metal Jacket. And the problem with 380 is being so underpowered that if you don't run Full Metal Jacket, it usually doesn't get enough penetration to call it okay. So like all the greatest hollow points for a 380, like they're designed to not go deep enough to end the fight. So you need the penetration. I would run Full Metal Jacket before I ran hollow points in a 380. That's like the best of both worlds. Man, that is some good coffee. We're going to end the live stream early because when I run out of coffee, I'm leaving, going down to get some more. The 365, yep. See, I actually have a note for how many guns. I wrote this a couple days ago when I wanted to talk about it, but my handwriting's so bad I don't know if it's a 7 or a 9. So I'd have to go look it up in my big black and yellow book and see what it says there because I wrote it poorly. Oh, excuse me. Fiocchi ball's fine. Colt. I ran ball, and I run ball again if I didn't have the lehigh defense. Just so, like, I think ball on a 380 is a fine way to go, and you can make some pretty good hits with 380 a pocket pistol. Just I know a guy made a video like one-handed 50-yard hits. Just saying. Gabe, the 365 is incredibly smaller than the 320. It is smaller than the 320 compact. I think it's smaller than the 320 subcompact. I think that's what they call the other 320. It is smaller than a shield. It's the same. Well, it's kind of smaller than a 10-round gun is shorter than the shield, and it's narrower than a shield. That I have the 12-round grip frame on it, which makes it makes it the same length as the shield with the 8-round magazine, which is the shortest I would recommend, unless you're going to ankle carry or pocket carry it. So it is, in my little dwarf hands, completely engulfed. And the circumference of the grip is the best of any handgun ever made. Like what the grip feels like is the only thing that feels better. Yes, Gabe, I would say it's probably not done for your hands. So is it enough to replace the 2.19 as an EDC? Well, this particular one has been my EDC for over a year. Every once in a while I go back to the Smith. I still carry the Smith at classes. Because I have a red gun, an inert non-firing gun, and it is a MMP. So I'll use my MMP at class so that I can, which I don't have to change holsters. If I want to use the red gun, I take the live gun, throw it in the ground, put the red gun in, do all the demos. Later, when I want to do shooting demos, I throw the red gun on the ground, go pick the regular one up, put it back in the holster. So at class, I'll still teach with MMP, but I've been carrying at SIG a lot. That was part of my extended test was what's it like to carry it. And I liked it so much that I got a second one, and I intend to carry 2. I am not into the whole AR clone thing. Really, I had my number 1 rifle was set up to closely replicate a Mark 18 as they came from Crane back in the Mark 18. Was it the Mod 0 that went from the Knights rail to the Daniel Defense rail? I don't remember when that changed, but that's how I had it set up, with the same setup as that. And then I just swapping everything off of it until the only thing that's on that gun now that was on that gun then is the stripped upper receiver. I probably will like the Shield Plus, Javier. I don't like the idea that the grip is so short. Like that's my big beef with the regular Shield. Is that or the old M&P compact, like the 1.0, was that when you change magazines, you have to take like all the fingers off the gun and just hold it like maybe between these two, because you'll crush your hand with the mag, like your hand rolls into the mag well, which is why I don't like the regular 365. I would carry it on an ankle, but I won't carry it because the grip's too short. The extended mag just makes it worse. So you can't fix a short grip with a long magazine, because when you reload it, it still reloads where the grip stops, not where the magazine is. So when you throw that thing out, put a new one in, bam, all your flesh goes in it and the magnet seat. So that's a problem, because you can't Like it's not a reloadable gun at that point. I mean, it's reloadable, but I wouldn't carry a reload because it ain't gonna happen. I had one of those Surefire vertical grips. So much mass, like you have to hold it kind of broomstick. You can't hold it with like you do a pistol, which is how I do a rifle. Because you're between your hand and the bottom of the rail, so like getting your thumb like going down the rail is more difficult. But I would say to upgrade to $150 head on that, I would just different light. Oh, Mike is here, my FERPA instructor. Mike, I mentioned it earlier, and I told them that they'd have to find out from you what FERPA meant. And so you can keep that a secret or run a contest or whatever you want. All right. So what else I got listed on here? Mention the study groups. The weekend after May 1-2 is our navigation primer that is happening here in the Bloomberg area. So that class is happening. Normally my moderator throws up a link, but I don't know if she's even paying attention. But the nav, and you don't need any ammo for it. Coming up also is fuck means everyone's lucky number. But Bug the Fuck Out 14 is going to be different than the rest. It's going to have more of a enjoyable atmosphere than a push yourself and test your shit atmosphere. However, it's invite only, and you have to be an alumni of one of the previous 13 Bug the Fuck Outs in order to be welcome or get the invite. And so if you're thinking that would be cool to do in the summer month, I think it's July is when that's happening. This one in May is your last chance to earn yourself an invite to the I don't want to say it's the fun one because I've had fun on most all of them, but if the easy way, because it'll be easier on the body, I believe, to do the one we're doing in July. But to do it, you got to earn it, and the one in May is your last chance to earn it. So that's on my list as well. And then I got stuff happening in June. Got a dynamic class. That's on Father's Day, and to celebrate Father's Day, if you bring dad, or if you are dad and you're bringing your son or daughter, it doesn't matter either way. It's pay for one, bring two. If you don't have a buddy to bring, it's fine. And if you have a buddy, it doesn't have to be your dad. It's just free if it's your dad. But we'll have some extra folks, and like if you need a buddy, it's all drills, the whole every single drill with two people. Oh, it froze. All right, so in order to go to the funner bug out in July, you have to go to the one in May or one of the previous ones. That's what I was talking about there, Sean. Wow. Mike, look at you giving two like less than ideal solutions and then making me pick. So if I wasn't going to run night vision on the rifle question asked about, I would run the M-Lock carbine handguard, the Mo. I have one here. I think I have a mid-length one here in flat dark earth. I have a rifle for it. If anybody out there is listening and they are interested in it, let me know. But if I was going to run, because with the M-Lock, you could still run a flat and like a drop. But if I'm going to run night vision on it and had to put lasers, illuminators, I would pick the quad pick rail so that I had more places to mount my shit. TJ is late. Not my fault. I'm not the father. Yeah, that's what kids do, Gabe. That's why all my kids, I build them their own rifle, made it as lightweight, made them as lightweight as possible so that they would take mine. It was a extra investment, but it was my only way of keeping my shit. And like they didn't get as good of stuff as like my rifles had. So like I had like the rifle that one of my kids borrowed for a rifle class had like a Garry trigger in it. And when they got their gun, it had an ALG trigger in it because, well, you know, they can buy their own trigger later. The kids are awesome that way. Luckily, like currently, my son is still running his 22. I think it's right back here. It is. Kapow. Today, I'm just fuck YouTube and all they're not showing guns. In case you didn't notice, he has a sling doomer. See that? Like, he takes his sling, hooks it off, and now it's out of the way, and he can bail out of cars without getting caught on the gear shifter and whatnot. It was like every 13-year-old boy should be practicing bailing out of a car with a rifle, right? Practicing bailing out of a car with a rifle, right? Some folks have their own sling doobers. As a matter of fact, I'm so on for this fucking sling doober that when they out last night, all the ones that are getting shipped, there's 4 or 5 or 6 of them that are being picked up, but all the ones that are getting shipped, all shipped out today, tracking number out and everything. So proud of myself, like a pat on the back. Oh, TJ, we got my airsoft rifle, Crytac Alpha. It took months, just months and months waiting on it. Just months and months waiting on it. I think the airsoft community or industry, like every industry, just can't get shit. Totally understandable when the government shuts everything down in order to cripple the economy. But, you know, that's what happens when you give power to people who are less than human. And yes, if you're a politician, you're less than human. Bob does the cool UW gear shirt. It was a gift directly from John. Not really to Bob, but, you know, I try to give some free advertisement to my friends. Notice right under the UW logo, UW Gear logo, there's no booze in that coffee, I promise. There is a Tiger Stripe K70 magazine. It's not printed, it's lasered. And it's lasered in 3 colors. So it's a black magazine. And I don't know what they did laser-wise that all the colors to up. I don't know how well that shows up with the lighting, because the lighting in here is very fucking white. But like you can see, it's not on the spines because it was lasered flat. And this is the magazine. It's a Bulgarian plastic mag, but it's my magazine for taking pictures and whatnot because it looks cool. I got an AR one the same way, but Rifle Dynamics, post Fuller, like this was one of the things they've been doing is laser engraving plastic magazines to look like Tiger Stripe. And I'm awestruck at how they got the gray, the creamy white color, and the brown. Like it's pretty badass that they can do that with a laser. Gabe, speaking of shirts, I don't know if you noticed, but my new printer, at least with the first shirt that I've offered, comes in 4XL. And one of my friends has one in 4XL and says it fits like a 4XL. So I know you complained about somebody's shirt at some point not coming in 4XL. The newest Tremis Dynamic shirt does indeed come in 4XL. Yes, Fuller left Rifle Dynamics a little while back. I think he had a X number of months no compete clause, and that's over. And he's doing something new now, but don't ask me the name of the company. Somebody in the comments could probably tell me. But yeah, he is on something new. He sold. That wasn't like a hostile takeover or anything like some situations you hear about in the firearms industry. He sold it, made money for the story that I'm told. So good on him. Holy shit! Somebody's vibrating the shit out of my stuff. Full Phoenix. There we go. I thought his name and I just couldn't remember, and I'm terrible at taking notes. So gonna Mr. Bondi or the regular guy trying to get him scheduled for coming back up here. Appendix Steve, yes. As a matter of fact, the particular clip that I want to try next on the Tremis signature holster for appendix carry is I ordered today. So I have a new attachment method that I'd like to try, and it is in the mail. I also am going to do something odd with that attachment method. So there's that. Yes, the AK guys have outed themselves. Strangely enough, I wouldn't call Javier an AK guy. Jason is definitely an AK guy. Fight the urge of modifications or embrace the Lego approach. This is a question that Mike's got. He's contemplated, you can read it in the comments, contemplating getting a second AR, thinking about keeping it basic, flash irons, sling. Do you try and fight the urge of modifications or just embrace the Lego approach? I'm a big fan of embrace the Lego approach. However, like I'm also a big fan of know how to use the rifle at its most basic configuration. So oftentimes I will flip irons up on when I go out to the range and just run irons so that those aren't completely foreign to me. But there's no point in forcing yourself to have a gun without the things that make it easier to use. Now, I wouldn't say like, oh, sell your kids, clothes to the local Salvation Army so that you can afford to buy a nice red dot for your second AR. Like I wouldn't say that in the least bit. But if you can put the things on it, even if you can't do it right now, but in the future, like, oh, there's a deal on Holosun, get that on this AR, by all means do so. It just makes it more usable for you later. Actually, let's have this conversation. I don't think it's CrossFit and vegans anymore. Let's have this conversation. I don't think it's CrossFit and vegans anymore. I now think that it's jujitsu and keto. Those are the ones that like when they walk in the room. All right. Check out, make sure I'm caught up. Sean is a chocolate chip guy. I don't know if he's talking Desert Camo or Brittany's awesome cookies that she brought to the radio class. Oh, I'd like to point out, I just mentioned trying to get Chris Bondi back up here later in the year. Trying to figure out a date that would work and whatnot. I'd also want to mention Definitive Training Solutions will be out here in June. I'm going to say the 4th through the 7th. Don't quote me on it. I want to say it's a retention shooting class, a 2-day pistol class, and entangled gunfighting, which is a combative ish class. But that's happening in June as well. Again, I think it's the beginning, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I think Saturday, Sunday is the pistol class. My wife's taking that class. It's not as what's what I'm looking for. I don't want to say advanced. Not as it probably won't light the internet on fire as much as dynamic pistol does. So if someone were going to take something less shocking, dynamic pistol, definitive pistol is the #1 class I would recommend. So if you're looking for a pistol class, and if you don't have a million classes in your belt, and the stuff I'm doing maybe cause you some sort of anxiety, definitive pistol is the one and only class I will recommend. And moderators on top of it again. The 545 gun Jace is getting close. Not too far out. Now I just got to talk to Pete to make some ammo for it. TFO is in May, Sean. Yes, it's already, the calendar is not working. It is working on my phone. It is not a class. It is a study group. So like, you don't have to pay for anything. You just let me know you're coming so I can tell where we're meeting and that kind of shit. And it is May 15th and 16th in Slate Run, which for you is much closer to us than normal because it's up in the north part of the state. Oh, I'm glad you asked Mike about the Streamlight Pro Tac flashlights. So I had the HL model on my #1 gun, my SBR. I took it off because I'm running a Surefire Vampire Scout light. I need an IR illuminator and a flashlight, and that did both. And Streamlight doesn't have one that does both. So I took my HL off. My lightweight rifle, right over here, still has a Pro Tac rail mount. It's not the HL model, and I actually like this one better because it's smaller than the HL model and still plenty bright enough. So, like, it's the Pro Tac is pretty fucking solid, and I've beat this one up more than most people beat any other shit up, and it's still running strong. Look, the sling on this guy too. I'll just go ahead and doober that up. It's a shame those things aren't for sale. Those fucking stingy or greedy patrons bottom them. All right, coming back up. PFO. Yeah, you should look at getting an optic. It's like going to a automatic car from manual transmission. Yes, you can run the fuck out of manual transmission. It is easier to run an automatic transmission. Brittany, yes, Zach's class would be great for Brianna. There you go. TJ's got their first-hand account of a ProTac rail mount doing well. So, Brittany, yes, you should get Brianna in on Zach's class. Adam, I know. The problem with getting him to make 545 is it's a little bit of investment to design a bullet, not to load it. Like if it was just he was buying someone's bullets and, you know, his custom load, he got to actually make the bullet. And like that's there's money involved in that. And I don't know how many people are going to buy the ammo when it's done. Just because it's not super popular, but fuck, I would love it if he did. Sean's going to the gay beach. Is it Myrtle Beach or is that Rehoboth? One of the beaches, like the San Francisco of the East Coast beaches, isn't it? Anyway, running a paracord on the AK sling connected to the sling. So like as your adapter to go from the sling to the mount, it'll probably be fine. The problem's going to be when the gun's hot and the sling's loose. It'll probably be fine. The problem's going to be when the gun's hot and the sling's loose, that paracord laying against the gas tube or the barrel and melting. That would be my concern with running paracord there. However, if you over on Blue Force Gear's website, they have this really cool connector called the U-loop, and they're like $14. And this is a plastic coated, but it's a braided steel cable. So even if it melts, it just goes down to the steel underneath, and you can wrap it through there, and then it's got this ingenious little maneuver to lock it back in place, and it's exactly what I would recommend for hooking up to a front end of an AK. And damn, it's weird. The questions that come up, I actually have all the shit near me today. It's always somewhere else. Oh, there we go. Crystal's got me straightened up. It's Hobith is the one I'm thinking of. Obviously, you can tell I've never been there. It might be an all-girls class. I don't know. I haven't asked Zach who all is coming to it. I will be there, not for any purpose whatsoever other than being there. Or maybe I won't be there. I don't know. I might just send Jen. We'll see. Someone's got to watch Klaus. But yes, Brittany, you should get Brianna in there. If you have any concerns, you can just ask Zach. In fact, you can just post it in the Legio page. Zach is there too, and he could answer any of your concerns if you just post a simple question. But I say that she will be fine, and she'll love it. $25 people, and nobody made me an offer on the NSR holster. Sheesh. Y'all hear about the sling dubers? See this one? Ooh. I believe this one belongs to Ernest. His is being hand delivered, so I used the one from the pictures to give to him. And the one on this rifle here, on my rifle, that's to go on my friend Scott. He's getting that one because I'm out. That's it. They're gone. There's none left at the moment. More parts being fabricated as we speak. The helmet that Bob is wearing. Bob is wearing a ProTech skateboarding helmet. It is not to mount nods on. It probably would suck to mount nods on. So skateboard helmets mount like, here and here, and good helmets mount a little further away. So the further away the strap is, the more stable it is. And that I own because when I got my BMX bike, so that me and my son could go hit dirt jumps and hit the skate park and stuff, I said he had to wear a helmet. And then it was brought to my attention that if I was going to make him wear a helmet, I should probably wear a helmet too. So I bought that helmet so that I had a helmet to wear when we went bike riding. Never really did a helmet thing when I was a kid doing the BMX deal. There was a concussion involved, so maybe I should have done that. John, I would love to bring my entire group of locals down to Florida for some humid summer training. I just don't know if they could swing it, especially since a lot of us are planning a trip in August to go to Glacier National Park to get some not hot weather training. It shouldn't be cold out there in August, but we are going, a bunch of us going out to Glacier to, be the glacier and whatnot. Grinnell Glacier has been on my bucket list. In fact, it's the only place on my bucket list of places to go visit. Like Machu Picchu, or how do you pronounce it, in Peru could be, but I don't want to fucking go to Peru. Like everything between Pennsylvania and Peru, I'm not interested in doing. So I don't really fucking care about getting there. Like the getting there. I'm thinking that down in Florida would be a great time to do in like March. Just saying, like this March when I was in Florida. I actually had a good friend who just bought property in Kalispell and is intending to build a house and within a certain time frame. I don't know what the time frame is. Move him and his family out there. However, my friend Mike did a area study on area outside of Glacier to include Kalispell, and Kalispell has a horrible, horrible crime problem. So there's like a chart that you numerical value based on all these little tidbits and facts, and violent crime is a major influence. And the higher the number, the better. And like I think Bloomsburg, where I live, was like in the 80s, and Kalispell was a 9, the exact same score as Philadelphia, and 3 points higher than Chicago. So they've got some crime issues. Like I looked at, I think it was like 2018. If you took all the crime that my hometown had, Kalispell had more rapes than we crime. And it only has like 25,000 people in it. Like it's not a huge fucking city. So that was a little startling. Oh, Predator Security Defense, PSD schools out there. I have heard people mention the name. I did not know they were in that area, and now I'm interested. Notes. Bear with me, everybody. Predator Security Defense. I will look them up. Left-handed. Well, I would say this. lefty or righty, if I could go back and reparent my children, would not know, they would never hear the term right-handed or left-handed until they went to school. I would just make them ambidextrous from the start. And that's how I would, if I had the chance to start over again. At some point in my life, I realized that not being dependent on handedness would have been an awesome thing to have in my repertoire. So I now work extra fucking hard to make my left hand not suck. And how great would it have been had my parents just made me do things righty and lefty from the get-go? That would have been fantabulous. That's my thought on it. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen a not wide soft T in a long time. Like I just assumed they stopped making them because I haven't seen one. I haven't seen it for sale. So also Council T Triple E, very disappointing. Like super disappointing. It's heralded as the be-all end-all list of proved trauma stuff, and they don't test anything. Like, how disappointing is that? Now, they take other people's tests and they compile them, which I think is great. That's a huge resource. But I don't think there's an integrity issue I have with recommending something off of somebody else's tests. Like there are people that I could call that would come here and face certain death alongside of me because we're that close. I would not recommend a product based off of their testing because I think that shows a lack of integrity to recommend something that you haven't done the testing on. If you did some tests and had supplemental information of other people's tests, I think that would be very helpful to the person that you're giving your results to, your recommendation to. Because once you mention it, somebody else's test, it becomes a much lower tier of reliable information. So the council on TCCC left me a little disappointed that they just take other people's info and compile it, which is great, and they should stop right there. But instead, then they make a list of recommendations, but don't, like, how do you verify that every test was done exactly the way that you wanted it to be done to make your recommendation? Like, you can't. You're now just taking other people's words for it. And I don't know. It's not how I recommend things, which is why my list of things I recommend is fucking tiny. I also don't get any funding for recommending things. So that also has an integrity red flag. Awesome. I would appreciate a direct email because I'm going to look up and make warrants available. I'm out that way. John, take it easy. Give Wanda my best. Tell the boys I said hello. And I'll see you next time I talk at you, which will probably be shortly because like we chat all the time. It's almost time for me to bail out of here. Anyway, 9:01 is what I'm seeing, which really means at 55 minutes, I've done my entire live stream because it's 8:05 to 9. I started a little late, so it'll be 9:02 because I got 55 minutes as of right now. So it's probably that time for everybody to bail. And my coffee is almost empty. All right. So it looks like I'm going to bounce as well. I'm going to go down and have some more coffee. I have to make a phone call. Someone asked me to call them when the live stream over, but I can't make them too late. So you all have a wonderful evening. I will talk at you later. If you got any questions or anything, you guys should be able to reach me some way or another. It won't be in the comment section of the YouTube video that I just put up before the live stream started. But if you really want to talk to me, I bet you can find a way to get in touch. So y'all take it easy, and I will see you next Tuesday at 8:05. My pleasure, Mike. Oh, I know I hit edit. Damn it. The thing's probably still recording. Cancel. End stream. There we go.